I'm Dax Henri. I'm the next guest on Rob's Inner Circle. Don't go anywhere. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back. I'm feeling myself today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Robert DeLesso, and I'm the host of Rob's Inner Circle, and this is a very special edition of our show. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, there's obviously a ghost in the room. Anyways, that's pretty cool. A cake falling out of the sky. So, guys, this is our second year. This is our second year of Rob's Inner Circle broadcasting. We first broadcasted on the 7th of June, 2020. So thank you to all for being part of our show, not only this evening, but for the past 2 years. Last year, it was Kathy Mulroy who had the honor to greet us for our first year. And this time it's going to be Dax Henri, our guest this evening. So congratulations to you, Dax. You're making history here on Rob's Inner Circle. So it is now time to make a wish. Thank you, everybody, for being part of our lives. And thank you, Jenny and Patty. Jenny, who is the producer of Rob's Inner Circle, and Patty, who is the technical producer on Rob's Inner Circle. We prepared a small little clip over here to go back 2 years when we first started off our show. It's a small little clip, so hang on, guys. Hey, homies. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening from Montreal, Canada. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We got our live podcast going on tonight. And welcome to everybody, all viewers, all friends. So don't be shy. Pop in. Tell us where you're from. We're from Montreal, Canada. Any other Canadians out there? American friends, probably Europeans, Australians. Hi, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Let's make this a fun night. We're here to support each other. It's a first-time experience, by the way. Actually, I did a test this afternoon. And, well, here I am. I'm on live right now, and this is pretty exciting, guys. It's a lot of fun. So that was it. That was 2 years ago. I remember it was a Saturday evening, came on at 8 o'clock, and it's all history from there. Obviously, at that very moment, I wasn't very experienced doing podcasting. I was experienced because, you know, I was always doing these little plays in the background and all that, but, you know, nothing like this. So here I am. Later on, all these years later, 2 years later, and we're here with you tonight to share this very special moment. Last night, we were part of something really special. We were part of Teresa Pichano's premiere private screening of her movie, Seamless Journey. And I'm very proud to have been part of the audience there, along with my good friend Esther Brzezinski, who she and I hosted a live directly from Casa d'Italia, where it was taking place. And it was a lot of fun. It was really, really great. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in there. There was also my good friend and producer of Rob's Inner Circle and all of the other things that I do. Jenny Duhame was there as well, along with our podcast techie on our show here, Patty Saragosa. It was absolutely fantastic. We had a really great time. And congratulations to you, Teresa, because your film got nominated. It won a selection at the Milan Gold Awards already. And today, it also was chosen for the Heart International Italian Film Festival. Congratulations for Teresa Pichano. These are honors that are very, very well deserved. Last week was a busy week. We had 2 celebrations. The first one, it was noon hour out of the box that we hit our 50th episode. And we want to thank you again, everybody who are who have been and still are encouraging us and celebrating with us. It's just so much fun to have you around. And after all, we do it all for you. And we also celebrated our 100th episode of Rob's Inner Circle. Then that was a lot of fun as well. So, folks, just want to let you know that the Daily Struggles sitcom is up and running on the Rise Up TV channel on the Roku streaming service. You can download the Roku app on your smart device, or you get a Roku stick on Amazon for as little as $30. Make sure you go on to the Bobby Short Shorts YouTube channel. You want to comment, share, click on the like button, subscribe to Bobby Short Shorts, and hit the notification bell, because every time there's a new production coming out, you will be the first to know. Well, folks, it's that time once again. It is time to bring on our guest on our show. But before we do all that, we want you to sit back, relax, take a deep breath, kick up your feet on the corner of the table, pour a nice glass of wine, and enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. It is time to bring on our star attraction here on Rob's Inner Circle this evening. He's a musician, he's a composer, he's a singer, and he's a really swell guy. It is my profound pleasure to welcome our guest this evening, Mr. Dax Henri. Oh my God, that is so cute. Hey, how did you have time? How'd you have time to get that? I mean, this was fun.
I know you guys like threw me for a loop here, but I had time to run for a cupcake and I had some candles. But after seeing that intro, I feel like I need more candles. You guys celebrated a lot of stuff.
That is one of the nicest things ever. Thank you so much, Dax.
So I'll make a wish for you and blow out.
I think I know what you wished for. Well, thank you so much. That's
congratulations. Cool. That's crazy. Bobby, that's amazing.
Dax, you're such a great guy. You're a talented musician. I can't wait to also show the other two midway clips that we have on our show this evening. Your music is very, very enticing, and it sounds like summer. Every time we listen to any of your tunes, they sound like summer.
Yeah, that's great to hear.
Go on.
I appreciate that. I always struggle with trying to, people like, what does your music sound like? What is the genre? Now I'm just going to tell people it's summer.
It's summer. There you go.
Yeah, it's the summer vibe. Thank you so much for having me on the 2-year anniversary. I'm very flattered. Thank you so much.
Well, yeah, we're ecstatic. We're thrilled to have you on. Great artists like yourself. It isn't easy to get them on our show, and here you are. You're mingling in Rob's Inner Circle.
Rob's Inner Circle. Well, man, I appreciate the invite. Jenny wrote to me, and I was like, yes, let's do this. I didn't even think twice.
So the name Dax Henri, how did you come up with that name?
Well, Dax is my actual real name. My parents named me Dax, and I have a really long Polish last name. It's Czernatowicz. It's like almost all the letters of the alphabet. So I was struggling to figure out what can I call myself when I put my stuff on Spotify. My last name was way too complicated. So I actually just asked people. I asked people, like friends of mine, like, hey, what could be a name? And I got a bunch of ideas. And my friend Chelsea that I work with, she's awesome. She was like, you're always in St. Henri. You've been living in St. Henri forever. So why don't you just call yourself Dax Henri? And I was like, sold, which it's actually pronounced Henri. But I go Dax Henri, but I put it with the I to represent St. Henri, where I spent most of my adult life living.
So let's go back a little. Tell the audience what it is exactly what you do.
Oh, man, I'm still trying to figure that one out. I guess producer. I write, I'm always learning and how to get myself to be better at song production, writing, all the ins and outs of the technical things when it comes to production. But at the end of the day, I'm just a songwriter, and I get off and really enjoy just creating new things and trying to challenge myself to get to the next level of song production.
So you played in various bands in your life. What style of music were you playing back in the time? That's in the beginning.
I always was in metal bands when I was younger. Like when I first started was a band called Tantrum with my high school buddies, Dennis, and we were doing like Silverchair covers at the beginning. And then we started writing our own stuff. So I've always been in metal bands, like thrash. We were a 3-piece thrash metal band, like a small Nirvana style, but playing thrash metal. And then I did a little stint in a prog band called Everything After Zero, which was fun. And then the last band that I was in, very serious, that like that's where Jenny and I first connected, was Delta Oscar Tango Dot. And that was the last real like electro rock industrial metal band that I was in, but that was a lot of fun because everything was very choreographed and visually, we had suit sunglasses and everything, and it was a very visual thing. And that was a lot of fun for us because everything was very tight and practiced and by the book every time we did something. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, my background is a lot of metal, even though I've always been a pop person. I had an acoustic band going on between all of those. So it's always had a variety of rock, acoustic, pop stuff, and metal, but all my real bands have been in metal.
So you played in various bands. There's what, maybe 10, 11 bands?
Not that many. I'd say like 7 or 8. Like I've been in Tantrum, Everything After Zero, Dot, as were bands. I played for a female vocalist in kind of like a pop Avril Lavigne style band for a little while. And then I've done, I had an acoustic thing, like that was my acoustic project that I had with some friends, where it was like my acoustic songs that we performed live, which was great. And then I've been doing kind of this electronic pop stuff. I was in a project before the pandemic called, well, I'm blanking on my name right here, with my buddy Rob, Clickbait Primates, where we were just writing, he would make the beats and I would do the vocals, and we did that for about 2017, 2018, 2019, and then we released a couple albums. So that's the most recent thing, and that's what got me into the deeper ends of production and mixing and understanding how to mix, because we were just making beats and making songs and say, okay, let's release them. And I had to learn how to mix them properly to make it sound good enough to put out. So that was like the trigger, the catalyst that got me into really wanting to learn how to do everything the correct way, if you want, quote unquote, correct way.
Are you an active member of a band right now?
Nope. And I haven't been since, I think the last Dot was probably 2016, 2017. Yeah.
So you've been a solo artist since then.
Well, I was doing Clickbait Primates with my buddy Rob. So a lot of that stuff, it's like he would make the beats, I would do the vocals, we'd get together, mix, arrange stuff. So that was the kind of transition out of bands into that kind of where you don't need a band, you don't need a drummer, you don't need a bass player. We're doing everything in the box, programming. And that was the trigger for that to kind of start. And then the pandemic hit and I wasn't able to go to his place. He wasn't able to come here. So that's where I kind of went, all right, I got to figure out how I'm going to steer this next. We thought it was going to be 2 weeks when it first started, but then,
Yeah. And you were saying that back in LA, you have a friend, and the trend is that they're going back to the masks right now in LA.
I just had a call with a friend in LA, and
that's pretty scary.
Yeah, she was saying that they were going towards the mask thing again. But like I was telling you before off screen, I think LA was always, they never really handled the COVID thing well at all. And so if there's one place that I think is going to go back to it, it's probably them first. But let's just knock on wood that doesn't come back our way.
I think we should knock on wood, on steel, aluminum, whatever you can find, plastic. I think we should keep knocking. Folks, this is just a reminder. You are tuned into Rob's Inner Circle. Our guest this evening is Dax Henri. He's a composer, he's a singer, a musician, and a really great guy. He's a lot of fun.
Cheers.
And if you have any questions for Dax, don't be shy. Dax is going to be obliged. He's going to be more than happy to answer. You can make your comments. Feel free. Dax, tell us, which training did you receive to do what you are doing today?
Oh, my goodness. Mostly DIY stuff. And I mean, the closest thing I took to any sort of, like, I took guitar lessons when I was a kid. When I was younger, took a lot of guitar lessons. But ever since then, it's just been kind of learning from experience, learning from other people. YouTube was great. Like, I remember, when you're trying to learn stuff back in the day, it was like, I used to have a collection of tablature books. Remember books where you have to figure out how to play
God.
on the
I
guitar?
had no patience for that.
I know, but I mean, that's how it was. And it's now the access of YouTube, and like, I could be sitting at my desk now and say, I'm not sure how to do this one feature on this program. Go to YouTube, type it in, boom, I'll find out in 2 minutes and then be able to do it. So a lot of my stuff now has been straight off of YouTube and just a lot of practice, trial and error, doing things horribly, messing things up, and then showing somebody that's saying, oh, this has to be this way. Okay, figure it out. Like that's what it's been. And I've been very fortunate to have some great friends that are in that mindset of sharing their knowledge, which I think is the most important thing. Like there's a lot of people, it's like, okay, I know how to make things sound good. I'm not going to say anything because that's my thing. But I've been very fortunate to have some really great friends that, have allowed me to come in and watch what they do. And I can see how they mix and ask questions. And that's been a real game changer for me to just see how professionals do it.
So you've always played music. You never stopped playing music. But what inspired you to begin recording your own music?
So that's one of the things in the past 2 years since the pandemic that has a great deal of value to me. Is the pandemic obviously was a horrible thing. It's not something any of us would have wished for. But I tried to take the positive sides of things. Like when I had to work from home for a little while, and then eventually I got laid off from my job. And I noticed, you have all the regular fears. Okay, I need to make rent. I need to pay my bills. But the one thing that kept coming back to me was I had this extreme fear of not knowing where I would be able to do music. Like in my mind, I was like, hey, if I don't get a job, I could go to my parents, but is there a room where I can make music? I can't do that at my dad's, but my mom's. So I realized the one thing that freaked me out more than anything was, where am I going to be able to make music? And having that one realization, there's like a weight got lifted off my shoulders. I was like, okay, I'm not doing this for any sort of success. It's not who's going to like what I'm doing. I realized in that moment that I do this because it's who I am. It's what I love to do. Even if nobody heard any of my music, I would still need to make music to keep my sanity. So once that clicked, I realized, all right, there's no pressure. Let's just learn this. You need to know how to make the beats. You're going to be on your own, because at the time we couldn't go see people. None of my friends at the time were really in that vibe of making music, because they were all in the same kind of boat of trying to figure out their jobs and survive in this new normal that we were living in. So I just decided, I remember the day exactly. I remember standing in my kitchen, May 15th, 2020, looking at my thing and going, all right, I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm going to learn how to do this. And I bought a couple extra things that I needed, some plugins. I took deep dives to figure out what people are using to get certain sounds and what systems I needed, upgraded a few things. And then I went for it, and I haven't stopped. Like all of 2020 was just the time I had a while where I had the summer off because I didn't have a job, and I had a good little package after. So I just worked on music. And then when I got another job, I'm that type of person that first thing in the morning from like 6 a.m. till 9, I'm working on music. I do my day job. And when the day's over, I would get back to it. So I just did nonstop practice. And I had the experience of how to put songs together from being in all the other bands, my pop band, my acoustic band, my metal bands. So I had the idea of how to put stuff together. It was just the technical, how to get it onto the program and make it sound decent, and all the ins and outs of because there's so much stuff you don't realize when you're just going, like just the details of EQing things, EQing out high cut, low cut, low pass, high pass filters, compressors, limiters, all these things. And but I love it though. Like I love learning new stuff. I totally geek out. Like I spend my night watching tutorials on Ableton or Logic Pro all night. I love it.
We're going to be playing one of your clips right now. It's called Heaven's VIP. And after the song plays, I hope the audience is going to come up with some comments. They're a little shy, a little quiet tonight. Folks, don't be shy. You can come up with your comments. Dax is going to be more than obliged to answer your questions. So let's play the song. And when we come back, we'll talk about the song, what inspired you.
Awesome. Here it is.
Slow down right now, I know there's so much to see, so much to say. Just enjoy the view Oh yeah, it's made it to Lake Drink Water. It's heaven's VIP. I Lake Drink Water. Oh yeah, it's made it to Lake Drink Water. It's heaven's VIP. I Lake Drink Water. You won't stop smiling. It's heaven on earth, you best believe. Once you see it, you can't see. The truth lives in the way, yeah. Let them crash all over you. I've grown up on this land, don't you see? It all belongs to me. If you're here, your family, VIP only. This is the true secret to life. I'm showing y'all paradise. Oh yeah, you made it to Lake Drink Water. Oh yeah, you made it to Lake Drink Water. It's heaven's VIP. I Lake Drink Water. Oh oh, I Lake Drink Water. Oh oh, Lake Drink Water.
No, this belongs to me.
Oh, I was just saying it. Jeez. Man, I'm drunk. It's a wrap.
that was really groovy. Hey, you know what? I love the editing. Are you the one who edited that?
Yeah.
Wow, you are a talented editor.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I keep trying to practice. It's fun though. Like I got into, again, when we had to, you have to do everything on your own. I was like, all right, I'll figure this out. And I've always dabbled with editing, but I got some Final Cut practiced, and it's fun. I really like that was done in a day.
Wow.
Yeah, like
Unbelievable. That's great. Well, it was done in a day. Yeah, you had to film yourself in different positions, right?
Yeah. Well, it's so that's my country place. That's like my summer place with my dad's place. And the pandemic again, I've grown up there my whole life, and yeah, I'm on online, farm boy. Give us a second. When I lost my job at the time, so I was able in 2020. I spent all of June and July up there. Like nobody's done that. My father hasn't even spent that much time straight up there. So I brought up my studio. It was me, my cats, and I spent 2 months just up in the woods, which was amazing. And one morning, I had this song written, and it's a song about that country place, like talking about the experiences I've had, the memories I've had there, and the concept is like if heaven had a VIP section, in my mind, it would be that place. And I woke up one morning and I had the idea in my head. I was like, hey, I'll film myself in front of the house and back of the house, and then I'll have a scene where my dad's sitting with me while I'm doing it. Because one of the lines in the song says, "This belongs to me." So that's why at the end he's like, no, this is my place. So I got up straight in the morning. It was a sunny day. I set up my camera on a tripod. I did a couple takes in the front of the house, a couple takes in the back of the house, and then I had him sit down with me to do the lake scene. And then I had a couple just B-rolls of me jumping in and out of the water. So that took until maybe 11 or 12 in the afternoon. We had lunch, and then I just put it on my computer on the dock and just clipped it all together. And it comes, usually when I'm making videos or these little vlogs that I do, I can't spend too much time on it because I'll just start overthinking it, or I'll do it. So it's like I plan what I'm going to do, I film it, and I'll edit it usually in that day and then put it out and forget it. If not, I'll obsess too much over it.
And what's pretty cool is that your dad is very supportive, obviously.
Yeah, I'm grateful for my parents. Like they've always been supportive. And the funny thing is they've always been supportive. No matter what bands I was in, like my parents not into metal or any sort of kind of rock stuff, but my parents always supported. My mom would always come to shows. My mom, thank God, supported with a lot of like the gear and things that I needed when I was younger. So I'm grateful. The fun thing now is that they actually like the music that I'm making. Like that's the thing that trips me out is I'll make songs and they'll be like, man, this is really good. I did a video a little while ago on Mother's Day So I went up to my parents and I asked my mom and my stepdad. I was like, "Hey, I want to do a scene where it's like you guys are both here. We'll just dance on the couch." And as I was filming it, when I edited it later, I noticed that my mom was singing all the lyrics
No,
to this song. Yeah, I was like, "That's amazing. My mom knows all the lyrics to this song." You know.
that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so it's fun to be making music that like my parents and people enjoy compared to like metal. They're always be like, I see that it's good. I understand that you guys are good, but I don't like it. You know?
Maybe the metal is too heavy. We have to go for the light metal.
Yeah.
Aluminum.
Aluminum metal, a little lighter metal. Who knows?
Nobody got that one. Okay. When you record your music, are you actually playing your own instruments, or is it all electronically reproduced?
I would say 90% of it is electronically produced. If you hear acoustic guitar or electric guitars, that's usually me playing it. Like on the first Quarantine album, there's a lot of acoustic guitar mixed in there. That's all me. And I have an electric, my Strat that I use for little electric ditty stuff. But most drums, I don't have a bass in my house, so bass, keyboard, synths, all that stuff is all programmed in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listening to your music, one could not guess that that is electronically produced.
Yeah, we're in a new, it's crazy now. Like, I mean, you could have those kind of drum sounds or things that sound a little electronic, but I have hard drives full of perfectly live sounding real drums. Like I have one of my go-tos is Travis Barker has a drum pack. Sounds incredible. And it's just him in studios, like giving you different tom sounds and stuff. And then you have them and you put them in the session and build drum beats with it.
So you got a band recording an album today, and the drummer for some reason forgot he's on vacation. Booked vacation at the wrong time. Not a problem, guys. We're going to reproduce the drums. Is it that easy?
Yeah. I mean, I even know a lot of drummers that will program their drums first. Like I have drummer friends that's like, oh, I'll send you a track and program, and they'll program the drums as opposed to playing them. A lot of them now have electric kits, so they'll play the stuff on an electric kit, and then it's just in the session. You can move stuff around. It's great. Technology is amazing. I love it. Like it's made our lives so much easier. Like I said, when I was trying to make things back in the day, like original drum programs were so hard to figure out. It wasn't easy. And now like the things we can do is incredible. So it's just to your imagination of what song you want to make, because everything is kind of at your fingertips right now.
You probably weren't around at the time, but many years ago when these recording artists were making records, they would have to send a reel all the way down to LA. It would take 2 weeks to get down there. Then the producer would hear, oh, you guys got to make a little adjustment, like at 2 minutes, 28 seconds, add like maybe a flam in there. So you have to send it all the way back. And it could take up to a year to just to produce a song. And right now, just like with the internet, you have FaceTime, you got Messenger, electronically, it's done within minutes.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I'm old enough that the first Tantrum record that we did, it was an analog studio. So I remember mixing down songs. We'd be the whole band and the engineer at the mixing board and be like, remember at 2 minutes, lower the tom, and Dax at this time, make sure to put up that bass fill. And we'd have to do it. And if somebody would mess up, we got to do it again. And it was live mixing like that. So I remember doing that with the first few records that we did on reels. So I have experienced that, but I love the new technology. Like I do, my buddy Cedric, who does my masters, he has a program where we could go on video calls like this, and he'll send me a link, and it'll give me a live feed of his computer. So I could hear full quality what's coming out of his computer system. So while we're mastering, we could just do it. He's in Quebec City. I'm here. I could hear what he's doing. Put up the bass a bit, EQ this a bit, and then, all right, cool, done. There's your master. It's amazing.
That's totally amazing. Wow.
Yeah. And I take advantage of it. Like I know some people are like, oh, it doesn't sound the same, or people using auto-tune or the digital and this and that. I mean, yes, but it's the evolution, man. Like when guitars started having distortion, people were upset about that. Like it's just the evolution of sounds.
And now there's nothing to be upset about. You take like a band like Metallica, and they can blow the roof right off the stadium with all that the power for coming from those Marshall amps.
Yeah,
Or is it
Marshall.
high watt that they use? Who
Who
knows?
knows now? I would say Mesa Boogie. I feel like the
I like
black
Mr. Boogie amps.
Mesa Boogie, but yeah, I had a couple of nice Mesa Boogies. I had a lot of gear that I got rid of that I kind of wish I didn't, but I don't even know where I would put all of it right now. Remember, like when we were younger, I was like, I need the biggest gear. I remember, I can't even think why I would even do that, but like lugging stack amps, double heads. It's because you're young and you want. And the older we got, the less and less gear we'd bring. Like you'd be like, no, we're not carrying that. What's the smallest thing we could bring? How many? Can you play with just a bass drum, a snare, and a hi hat? No, I need some toms. You sure? All right.
I remember I had the 100 watt Marshall stack. I had the head and the A and B cabinet. I mean, the thing would just graze the ceiling for how high it was. And today you get something this big and you'll get 100 watts out of it.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
ridiculous when you think of it. Did the DJ Skrillex influence you in any way?
I'd have to say no.
Oh,
I know Skrillex, total respect for Skrillex. I've watched a couple tutorials of Skrillex, but to say that he inspired me to write any sort of music, I would say no. I know a couple of songs from Skrillex, but not something like I like dubstep. But it's not something that I'll play just regularly to listen to. But Skrillex, I know Skrillex from, he was in a band called, I think it's First to Last. From First to Last, he was in like a kind of a metal band. I remember seeing him at the Spectrum as a singer for a metal band. He opened for something. I don't know if I want to say it's not Slipknot, but I saw them play as a metal band, and I was always impressed. And then that's who Skrillex was to me. I was like, oh, it's the singer from that band.
and his girlfriend went on to make a beautiful song that they used. I know her last name is Gold or Golding or something like that.
Oh, right, Ellie Goulding. Yes, I love that
Yes.
song from 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes. Oh my God, I love that song.
I have, I have a story about that song, but I don't know how clean we got to keep the radio show. But I had one night I used to jam at Cité 2000. I don't know if you guys know that building right by the Molson Brewery. And I had a party. I went to a party, and somebody gave me a joint, and I had experience. I thought I had experience, but
Was the joint this big? You keep doing that.
it felt like it was this big. It felt like it was this big. It was a guy I met at the party, and he was rolled the. I should have known because it took him less than 10 seconds to roll like a cone this big perfectly. I should have known that he was like a weed assassin. But the moral of this story is I smoked, and then I was way too buzzed to do anything, so I went to hide in my car. And I'm in my 30s at this point, and I couldn't drive home. And I was debating at 30-something years old, like, am I going to have to call my dad to come pick me up right now? Like, call my dad and be like, Dad, I'm too stoned to drive home. And looping back, I turned on the radio, and that's the first time I heard the Ellie Goulding song. And I cranked it so loud, and I was like, this song is so good. Like, that song's amazing. And I'll always have that memory because it was just blasting in the car, and it was amazing. And that's got me the energy to sober up and get back to my plan.
What a beautiful voice she has.
Oh, she's amazing. She's amazing.
Well, she while they were together, she was. I remember my son was telling me about Ellie Goulding and the relationship she had with Skrillex, the DJ. She was always in the background. She was always involved with him somehow, but she was, she kept. I think she was doing backing vocals,
Possibly. I forgot
something to that effect. But then when she came up with that song there, wow, it's just like, okay. I mean, this kid's good.
Amazing. It was just a great song. Was it Love Me Like You Do? That's what it's called, right?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
everybody who's tuned in tonight, they're all going to rush when they hang up after the show, of course. They're going to go onto YouTube and watch the video and cry themselves to death tonight.
Well, it's one of those songs that's kind of like that in between of sad but positive, and that's the kind of space that I like to be in. That it's not necessarily a sad song. Like for me, when I first heard that song, I was like, it gave me like power. Like it felt great hearing that song, but just because it's got a great chorus. And it's stuff like you asked me if Skrillex influenced me. That song definitely influenced me. Like when I heard that, that's the kind of song that I'll hear and be like, oh my God, I need to go home and dissect this song. What are the chords? How did they do this? What's the melody? Like those are the songs that inspire me.
You trying to tell me you could hit those high vocal chords as she could?
Not at all. Not at all.
Because if you could, this is the place to do it right now because you're going to be hired.
Yeah,
you're going to be hired by someone tomorrow morning.
I don't have that high register, but just to dissect like the songwriting, the chord progressions, the build-ups. Like there's other songs too. There's like Katy Perry songs that are very kind of similar.
I love Katy.
Oh yeah, there's one song I can't think of right now what it's called, but the video it's like it's snowing somewhere, but they're just super simple.
Oh, Wide Awake?
Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to research it, but like
in the garden or something. Okay.
So good. And it's like we talked the last time we spoke, it's very, simplistic. You start off with the simple chords that work, and then it's adding the melodies and the in sounds that come in and out that guide you through the journey of the song. But when you dissect it, you'll say like, well, the whole song is 3 chords that never change.
Unreal, eh? When you think of it, that's the core of the song, like you say, but then you add all those layers on. It's like a cake, right?
Yeah.
You start off with the vanilla, then you start putting the what is it? The
icing,
the cream, the icing. Then you start putting those little sprinkles on. There you go. Enjoy that muffin, will you? On behalf of Rob's Inner Circle.
I appreciate it. I mean, I got this for you guys, but I got it for me too. I've been pretty good with trying not to eat junk food, but I figured we're celebrating.
Yeah, needed an excuse. And my Joe Louis is gone.
Yeah,
another already took care of that.
The ghost stole the cake back.
There you go. So tell us nowadays, what is the music genre that you're into besides your own material?
Okay, not me. What I'm listening to?
Yes.
I always say pop because for me, there's a lot of things that fall into pop, but pop has always been my thing. I really like hip hop. I don't really listen to metal that much anymore. Like there's a few bands like the new Bad Omens record is amazing. Wage War, they have an album called Manic that came out that I think was great. But again, it's metal, but to me, it's kind of like pop. It has those pop elements, those hooks that bring you in. So I'm very pop right now. Like Post Malone just released his new record, and I'm like obsessed. It's so good. That's like me going to class when an artist like that I respect and love releases a new album. I deep dive. I need to learn all the songs on guitar, figure out how it's written, what they did. So yeah, that's my addiction right now is the new Post Malone. So it's like pop, but there's a lot of new subgenres like trap. People say trap music. I'm like, I'm not even sure what that is. To me, it's like hip hop mixed with pop. So I'm very much into pop music still. That's my go-to. Things with melodies and good hooks like Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake, so many, all of that stuff I'm into.
We're going to be playing your second song right now, Turn Me Up. So when we come back from playing this song over here, we'll talk all about it.
Cheers.
Let's make love tonight. I'm taking shrooms by the ounce tonight. Call me naked from your damn Skype, that's right. Quarantine, hungry like some fiends, like you've never seen. Bam, bam, everybody needs a little love song.
Oh, good boy. Good morning, friends. Had a busy day yesterday. We brought him to the vet. Yeah. He was a little bit stressed about it, but he's all good.
It's okay, bud. It's not the AstraZeneca, don't worry.
And we saw James and Bianca on the canal, which was fucking crazy. The amount of people around the Atwater Market, mind-blowing. It was a bit crazy. And then we went to Casa del Racis to hang out for a while with Mike and Dee. And then today, we got another busy day. I'm gonna go for a run, workout. I gotta make a video, and then I'm getting my COVID shot. Oh, yeah.
I try to control it, but I lose it.
Turn Me Up is a funny one. The song started actually because Pornhub for the month of March had made premium free to help with your quarantine, which it did. Thanks, Pornhub. But then that was only for 30 days. So the chorus is based on that. Like we all know, the premium's not free no mo. Kind of started with that, and then when quarantine hit, there was a lot of conversation about intimacy and no, you can't see your lover and this and that. And I was in a long distance relationship at the time, so a lot of my intimacy was done through like video chats, texting, and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be relevant to write a song about that.
I try to control it, but I lose it. Tripping balls, girl, do that thing I like on the desk with the mirror and the lights. Put your phone down, lean it up against the wall so I can see it all. I need your love right now. I need your love right now. Damn, quarantine, I'm hungry like a fiend, like you never seen. Bam, bam, all I really need is your love right now. It's your love sometimes.
There's another one of your catchy songs. I like that song.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, that was one of the after I released Quarantine, I watch a lot of vloggers. Like I'm talking food vloggers, self-help vloggers, and I kind of was like, hey, I think I could do that. I think I could. I had the idea of saying I challenged myself to do a deep dive video for each track on that record. So on my YouTube, you could see for each track on Quarantine Pop, there's a short video similar to that one that explains what the song's about, how it was written, mixed with a little video. So I did that for all of those songs. But that one, like I explained in that video, was just a song. I was in a long distance relationship for a while with somebody in California across the country. So that was kind of difficult. So the song's kind of talking about that intimacy from a distance. And then, like I said, when quarantine first hit, Pornhub had given like the month of March was free for premium members. So that was the joke of the chorus of that song is premium's not free no more. So it kind of was based around that. And I made a joke about it.
So though you're very talented, you're never satisfied with yourself. This has been a catalyst for throughout your whole story as a musician. And this has brought you great success. Explain to us how you can make this happen.
Success or why I'm never satisfied with what I'm doing. I mean, like, I think it's a blessing and a curse in the sense of, I talk about it with my father a lot, where I'm like, I never feel like what I'm doing is good enough, or I'm never satisfied. And he always kind of calms me down to say, well, that's why you're getting somewhere, because you're never content, or you're never sitting down and being like, all right, I'm good, I got this. Like I'm always questioning or doubting myself of what I could do. And it's tough because my inner monologue is the worst. Like I'm sure a lot of artists go through that, where it's like nobody could say anything bad enough about my music that I haven't said worse to myself. And it just keeps me going. It's like, I know I need to always do better. And like I said, I hear like the new Post Malone record come out. I hear that and I'm like, all right, I got to step up. I hear this. This is the next challenge. Like, how can I get to this kind of level? And it keeps me going because I don't, I've always been scared when I was younger. You hear the word ego, like don't have an ego, don't have an ego. And that kind of stuck to me in the sense of like, I want to, like hearing you say like, hey, your music's great. It's like, I appreciate that. That makes me feel good because it's like, all right, well, I appreciate that because I've had a few times in my life, a few things that happen where I go, all right, you did good. You did good. And it's hard for me to say those things. But when I get to those things, it's emotional because I'm so hard on myself for it that like it's rare, but it feels good when I accomplish something. In the past few years, like this March, the album that I have coming out on the 17th, when I got the masters back for that one, I remember listening to that in the morning, and I actually got emotional because I was like, man, it sounds good. Like I actually was able to tell myself like, hey, this sounds good. Like,
and you're right. I listened to that upcoming album. You got 4 tracks on there. The first one being A Song I Know, Blinding Lights, which is a cover, Screen Life, and Valerie, also another cover. I listened to that EP, and you're absolutely right. You can be proud of yourself because you did a very good job with that.
Well, thank you very much. That means a lot to me because, like I said, it's I don't let that kind of stuff sink in very much. Like it's rare that I'll tell myself like that's good. Like my friends and artists that have worked with me know that. Like, I'm the one who says, like, I'll have friends call me and be like, man, you're putting out so much stuff. I'm like, really? I feel like I'm lazy. I feel like I'm not doing enough. So it's like that inner monologue is very hard on me. So when I get a moment, it's almost like it takes over, where it's like, oh, all right, this was good. Well done. And it's like, it's out of my control. And that feels great. I'll usually get very emotional at those times, where it's like, it almost makes me want to cry when I realize, okay, I did something that I myself think is good. Because I think I'm my toughest critic when it comes to these things. So,
Well, I'm not the only fan you got over here. Our producer, Jenny Duhame, has put a comment up here. I don't know if you can see that.
Jenny, thank you so much. I appreciate
There
it.
you go. So you have at least 2 fans. You see what I mean?
Well, see, that's all I need. And
the rest of the audience who are very shy to pronounce themselves tonight, it's okay. You made a lot of fans as well. They're all going to go tune in to Spotify and watch you on your videos, also on YouTube, and encouraging you.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, and I'm always doing more stuff. Like, I never stop. I mean, sometimes I'll take some social media breaks because I feel like I need that. But I'm always working. Like, I have this new album coming out June 17th. I'm already thinking. I've already got about 4 or 5 other songs that are like in the works to come out to the next one and next one. Like, I'm trying to release as much as I can. Like I said, I try not to overthink it. When I get a song that I'm like, all right, this is cool, I get it to the point where I'm satisfied with it, and then I want to put them out and move on to the next one.
While you were playing with Dot, 2 of your band members, the kids, as you would call them, because they were younger than you guys, they came back with a surprise. They did something behind your back, and you said, like, what?
Oh,
and
yes.
The rest is history. So let us know what happened and how you used the law of attraction to go get what you always wanted, but you seized this opportunity to make that happen. Share with the audience what happened.
So this is the early stages of DOT, so Delta Oscar Tango, which was founded by the 2 original members, which Rob and I call the kids, Cedric and Fred, because they were like a decade younger than we are. So we meet them, we start rehearsing with them, and one day they walk in and they're like, hey, we signed us up to a battle of the bands. And Rob and I are in our 30s at this point. We're like, what? Why are we doing? No, we don't want to do a battle of the bands. We did that. Like, no, battle of the bands are not cool. But they're like, no, we signed up, we're good. And it was a pretty good battle of bands. It's called Yum du Rock. It's been around for a while, and they do like Ottawa, Montreal, I think Toronto. They do a couple different places. They do individual battles in those cities, and then the finalists come to a big final in Montreal. So we're like, all right, I guess we're going to do this. We hadn't played a show ever. We'd never played a show. So we said, all right, we'll do this thing. And I remember seeing that, you're reading the list of what you could win. So, first place band wins studio time, video shoot, photo shoot, all this kind of stuff, spending money. And the prize that intrigued me was there was a wireless microphone kit that you could win. And I always wanted a wireless microphone. And I remember clearly sitting on my couch just thinking in my head, like just a little bit going, I want to win that microphone. Like I said it out loud to myself. And then the first show that we played was at Cafe Campus. The first DOT show ever is at this battle. And one of the guys who runs the battle was like talking to me and he was blah, blah, blah. And I just told him, I was like, I want to win that microphone. And he like laughed and was like, oh, you haven't even played a show yet. And I was like, I know, but I'm just saying I want to win this microphone. And lo and behold, like we round by round, we kept going through, made it to the final, and we won the final, and I won the microphone. And that's one of those moments where like backstage after I was crying like a baby. I just the fact I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, one of those things where you can't, like my inner monologue can't tell me like, no, you still suck. Like in that moment, I was like, okay, you won the contest and you won that microphone. Like my inner monologue gave me a tap on the back, and I had to go in the back and kind of break down and cry on that one because it was great. And it's funny, we say like the law of attraction as well. I still have behind my screen right now, at one of those Battle of the Bands, when we were at the final 4 bands, to pick the order of when you would play at the show, you have to pick a number out of a hat. So it's like, obviously strategically at this final, it's like, you don't want to be first. Maybe you want to be last. Maybe you want to be before last, but you want to be able to decide what place you're going to play at. And I remember my girlfriend at the time, bless her, Kevin, was like, you need to put it out in the universe. And I was like, what? She's like, just say I'm going to pull out the number 1. And in our living room, I said, all right, I'm going to pull out number 1 from this damn hat. And then come that evening, the guy comes out with all the numbers in the hat, and I didn't even say anything. I was the first person. I ran right up to the hat, and I dove my hand in it, and I pulled out the number 1. Like, I pulled out the number, and I was like, you know what? And I still have the paper with the number tacked on my wall right there.
Well, you know what? Stand by, because I have one heck of a wish list for you. You're going to be putting a lot of things out of that hat for me, bud.
All right. I'm all about the law of attraction.
That's an example of how you use the law of attraction. But how is it that you came to discover the law of attraction and what the attributes are, and how to use this, and how has it been effective for you in other ways, other aspects in your life?
I mean, it's still a work in progress. Like, I'm still working on gratitude practices and, you know, positive self-talk and things like that, because it's very easy to just go negatively. But like, I've always been a positive person, even though sometimes I could be kind of on the depressive side of things, but I'm very positive, and I think that's what's brought me success. As hard as I am on myself, I have a good life. I have a great place. I got good friends. I'm comfortable with the music I do. I've had great experiences with bands. And I think all of that's just kind of revolving around being positive and just hoping for the best. But it's still, like I said, it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress, because I'm all, you know, I try to put those things out there. Like, you know, you have that thought, oh, I'm getting older. Am I going to be able to tour? Can I tour? Will I tour? Is this ever going to happen? But I still do. I still have those little kid fantasies of, you know, putting it out there where I picture myself on a stage. Like, I have a microphone that I told myself last year that I leave on my desk. Like, I used to keep it in my drawer, but now I keep it on my desk, because every now and then I'll still act like a kid, and when music's playing, I'll take my microphone and I'll pretend I'm playing in my place. And I'm like, that's it. That's the law. That's me just putting it out there that, like, this is what I'm working for. So,
well, maybe you can explain this phenomenon that goes on. Patty, Jenny, and myself we're friends, first of all, and also we're associates. We work together. There's this number that keeps popping up all the time on the clock, 1111. And would you know how many times, I swear to you, I'm not lying to you, I'm in my car, I'm anywhere, I just look up at the clock at the precise moment, it's 3:33. And I see that often.
yeah.
Okay, so is there an explanation for this that maybe I should know of?
Well, there is. I haven't dug into it enough, but there is something with numbers and like that they represent something. My buddy Rob, I think, sees those too. Or he sees like sequence numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, stuff like that. It's funny that you bring this up, because I have one specific number that I see all the time, and I've done people have done research. Like, I see the number 118 all the time, or 1118, or 811. I'll see that all the time, and it's kind of turned into my lucky number. And something, I think 11 and 8, I've done research, said something to do with success with money, which, knock on wood, I'm still waiting, but let's hope that that's there. But everything that I do has some sort of correlation to the number 118, because now I'm superstitious of it, because I see it everywhere. I'll see that number everywhere. And so much so that my friends will even notice it. Like, my friends will say, like, hey, what time is it right now? And they'll look at their phone and they'll be like, you kidding me? It's 11:18 or it's 1:18. Like, it happens so much around me that it's a weird thing. Like, at one point at my previous job, I was in a travel company. I switched the city that I was working with. So I switched to work Los Angeles. And when I started pumping in the GPS coordinates for Los Angeles, all of them start with 118.
Look at that.
Weird things that pop up with 118. So my last 2 records, Our Last Dance is 11 minutes and 18 seconds. And the new one that's coming out on the 17th is 11 minutes and 8 seconds. And I usually try to release them on, I released the last one on October 8th, Like I try to do it so there's a number of 118 somewhere in all my releases or something counting on it. It's like a superstition thing that I can't get away from right now.
I'm not that good at it, but I'm a bit of a psychic. I'm going to tell you something, Dax.
Jenny sees 116. Okay, see?
I'm going to tell you something. I have a pretty good gut feeling that you're going places. You're going to be an international star.
Put it out there, Rob. Put it out there.
I am putting it out there. And you know what? If anyone deserves it, it is you.
Well, I appreciate that.
Because before we had this show, we had our initial interview. I got to know you a little bit. Then I started watching what you do like on YouTube. And I listened to your stuff on Spotify. And I grew some kind of a little connection with you. I have to be honest with you. A little connection, the law of attraction, the whole stuff, everything. We have a lot in common. So I am persuaded that you will become an international superstar.
Well, I hope so. And if we do, we'll have, this will be the 2-year anniversary of Rob's Inner Circle. And this could look back and be like, you know what? Rob told me on that day.
I'm telling you, I remember specifically, and this is no joke either. You remember a hockey player named Chris Nyland?
Yes.
We were chatting on Facebook a while back. And he came on once on TSN radio as a guest. I said, Chris, you're going to get a spot on TSN radio, and it's going to be within a year from now. Lo and behold, I hit it right on the head. Mitch Melnick comes on TSN 690 and announced that Chris Nyland got his spot on TSN. I haven't heard from him in a while. Maybe he's back in Boston right now. He comes back for the winter. But I had told Chris Nyland that he was getting a spot on TSN radio.
No way. Well, I believe in all that stuff, and I hope so. And I appreciate the support, and I won't forget it. If it happens, we'll come back and we'll do another show.
Oh my God, by all means. And I hope you're going to remember this show religiously. Make sure you keep the link to this show on our channel, Bobby Short Shorts. And you know what, Dax? Why don't we exchange favors? I'll subscribe to your channel. You subscribe to Bobby Short Shorts. How's that?
I love it. Bobby Short Shorts. I love it. There
you go. And if the folks want to go and support you on your YouTube channel, what's the name of the YouTube channel?
YouTube, you can find me under Dax Henri. I do a lot of my stuff on Instagram. Again, handle is Dax Henri. And Spotify is all there, but YouTube, Instagram is usually kind of my home base. You can find links to all my stuff on my Instagram, and that's just at Dax Henri.
Is it because on Instagram the audience is younger? Because I see more and more people swaying away from Facebook. They're going towards Instagram. They're going towards TikTok. Is it because it's a younger audience?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm too old to get why. I don't know, but I'm not going to pretend to understand it. Like for me, Instagram is just kind of the easier one. Like I could put the videos on Instagram and it'll simultaneously put them on Facebook. And it just seems like there's more people that just interact with Instagram on a daily basis. Whereas YouTube, you need to search for something. There's not that much of an algorithmic thing that's giving you something. So I just use Instagram as my home base. I know I got to get more familiar with TikTok because that's like the new big one, but it's a real tough balance to keep inspiration and just feeling like I'm a person when I'm trying to balance how much I need to put on this social thing, on this. That's why I took a break the last few weeks, because I actually caught myself having anxiety because I was like, oh, I didn't post today, or I didn't make a video this week. And it was giving me anxiety, and it was stopping me from, the anxiety was stopping me from creating because I was just stressed out. And I was like, you know what? This is crazy. This thing has a control over me that I know. So I took a break. So it's like at the end of the day, my philosophy right now is just follow my inspiration. Like I don't have to do anything. So I'm just following my inspiration. I'll, if I sit down and nothing's coming, I'm like, all right, it's not the day. I'll read something, or I'll watch a tutorial on something to keep my mind going, but I don't force the inspiration anymore. And I notice all the best stuff happens on those unexpected times where you just sit down and you're like, wow, I just wrote a full song. So I've learned that from experience to just not force it and just go with the flow. As long as I'm constantly learning, it's going to come out somewhere.
So I'm going to put something out there. If anybody in the audience, whether it's now live or it's afterwards, have basic knowledge or a lot of knowledge, anything to do with social media and how to promote an artist, this is a great chance for you. You can hook up with our friend and guest this evening on Rob's Inner Circle, Dax Henri, and maybe you guys can make something really beautiful happen together.
I'm all about meeting new people, collabs. People want, if somebody, artists want help with beats, they want to write songs, like I'm all about it. I want to share, I want to learn from people. I'm all about like that collaboration and just spreading as much and just growing the circle. I love that. Where
has this hour gone? It's already time to say farewell.
Oh, well, again,
again,
happy birthday. I really appreciate you on this special day for all of you. So it was an honor to be on for this special occasion. 2 years, June 7th, 2020. Congrats.
Well, thank you so much. And it's thanks to amazing people like you who are our guests on the show and the people tuning in who make this all happen for us. And I have a bit of a mindset, with the law of attraction and all that. And I see Rob's Inner Circle going far, far, far away, going to a lot of places. Something is going to happen on this show, and it's going to be grandiose.
Well, I wish you all the best. You're off to a great start.
Well, thank you so much. So let's have your closing comments, Dax. Where do we go from here? The year 2022, what do you got planned? Is there anything coming up?
Just lots of new music. Like I said, I've got at least what I think to be, oh, hey, fun boy. I've got what I think to be the best music that I've done in the works right now. So I've got a new album coming out June 17th. We talked about 2 new original songs and 2 covers, and I've got about 5-6 more tunes that I want to release August, September. I don't know. So just a lot of music to come and a lot of collabs and a lot of videos to come. I'm just going to keep pumping as much product as I can out.
Well, thank you so much for being part of our show tonight. And it was a great experience to have you on. And please keep us posted with whatever happens with you, because as you see, we are always making announcements on the show. If you sign a big record deal with a record label or whatever, please let us know. We'll be happy to share that with you.
100%. I really appreciate it. Yeah, this let's say this is the kickoff to what's to come next.
Great. So stand by. We're going to have our meet and greet right after the show. We're going to be signing off, and you're going to get to meet the producer and the techie on our show.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
So don't go anywhere. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back. Thank you, Dax.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into this amazing show we had tonight. This is our 2nd anniversary show, and it is Dax Henri who has the honor of making this show happen. Just a reminder for you, this upcoming Wednesday on Noon Hour Out of the Box, I'll be co-hosting with the amazing Esther Brzezinski, and we have another great show lined up. You can watch hear the extended version of Noon Hour Out of the Box on accessradio.ca every Saturday between noon and 3 p.m. Next week, we're going to be having people from Awake Woke TV with Amit Rathore and Kritika Shrivastava from Woke TV. Again, a big thank you to all of you for joining us this evening. We're so grateful. A thank you to Patty Saragosa, our techie behind the scenes, and also to Jenny Dohane for making this all happen, our amazing producer. Good night, everybody. We'll be seeing you next week. God bless. Be good. Ciao for now.